Hey guys, it's Midnight, or Midnightisnttrying, whichever you prefer, and welcome back to another video. I'm excited. I'm recording two videos tonight, but they won't be posted on the same day, obviously. But we're just going to jump right into this. This is a video. It's a supernatural video, paranormal video, something I want to start doing, about phone calls from the dead. Like, people getting phone calls mainly from dead relatives or friends or something, and I want to share with you today 7 TikToks and I think 8 or 9 Reddit stories about this happening to people. So let's just jump right into it. We're gonna editing page here. I just want to say quickly about the beginning of this video, especially with the TikToks, that my commentary is absolute buns. Like, I barely say much about the TikToks until like the second to last one. I don't know why. I know I wasn't feeling well. I'm still not feeling well, but I was weirdly nervous that day, so I don't know if that kind of had a effect on my recording. But yeah, so for the first like 5 or 6 TikToks, my commentary is, it sucks. The TikToks are creepy. They did scare me, but like I don't know. But I know my commentary during the Reddit stories are a lot better. So like, stick around, please, or skip. I think to like 5 minutes is when I actually start kind of feeling like I'm actually trying to be a good YouTuber. Okay. Let's start off with the TikToks. The first one is, it's short, but it has almost I think it has over 3 million views right now. It is from Katie's Thoughts on TikTok, and her boyfriend had passed away 7 months prior to this, and she gets a phone call from him at 1 a.m. And now this TikTok is, I'll put the video right here. So yeah. And like, creepy. So creepy. But yeah, I just kind of came across this rabbit hole randomly, and I was like, that would make a good YouTube video. So here I am. And our next TikTok comes from Zachary Hayden on TikTok. He gets a call from his grandmother's landline, but she died the year prior, and you know what? Here's the video. How creepy is, especially the fucking light being on. Hello? And the whisper of a name. I haven't listened to the audio. I have the videos pulled up, but I could listen to the audio because what the fuck? Number 3 we have FizzXN. I'm not sure if this is the original poster of this video. Maybe. Ew. But it seems to, this, TikTok page seems to post a lot of these creepy kind of story videos. So I don't know. But this is from January 15th, 2018. The poster gets a call from their dead grandma, and the voicemail is so weird. Here, I'll play the video.
Lori, your grandma, I love you, mija, and I'll call you because you're okay and the kid is okay. Love you, mija. Bye-bye. Call me back.
Like, that voicemail, hello? But honestly, this one makes me more, like, sad than anything, low-key, because, like, oh, like, she's just trying to check up on you all for real. But yeah, that one, that's another one of the first ones I saw that I was like, oh, that's creepy. The next one is from a TikTok account called I'm Miranda. And she was crying at her sister's grave. You know, she said she kind of felt stupid for crying at a stone. And then she gets a FaceTime call at 5 a.m. 3 days later, I think. Here's the clip from her sister. Yeah. And the screen being black, like answering the FaceTime call and the screen just being pitch black, How freaky is that? Like, no. I don't know. Like, so many people on TikTok report this kind of happening, and it's freaky. It's very freaky. I know I'm kind of moving through these quick, but the Reddit stories are really freaky, so I'm getting to those as well. Our next one, TikTok, is by Celia1988, and she got a phone call from her deceased sister. Here's that video.
That time I got a phone call from my deceased sister.
Let's just stop repeating. But, like, can you imagine you lose a loved one in one night? Your phone just goes off and it's their name showing up. Like, how not only creepy would that be, but how sad is that? Like, you know? I don't know. And then this last TikTok is actually the TikTok that sent me down this rabbit hole. And it is about Charles Peck. This is one of the most famous cases of phone calls from after death ever. So Charles Peck died, unfortunately, in a fatal train wreck in 2008, and his family were receiving phone calls from his phone for 12 hours after this tragedy happened, and it was later found that Charles Peck had died on impact, so there's no way he could have been, calling for help or something like that. And the only thing that was on the other end was just static every time somebody would answer or anything like that. So this was one of the stories, one of the earliest things I could find about phone calls from the dead, and it's the thing that sent me down this spiraling rabbit hole. So freaky. So freaky. So, yeah, those are a few TikToks I have. I'm sure there's more, but those are just the ones I kind of scrolled through and found and wanted to kind of include in this video to, show my point about it. But, let's move on to our Reddit stories. And this was on the Reddit r/ghost stories, and the original poster had asked, alright everyone, who's received phone calls from the dead? And they actually got 45 replies, and I can't include all 45 stories, but I picked some, and I'm just going to read them word for word to you. So all credit goes to the original storytellers, but let's jump in. This is the first one. I screenshotted. Sorry, what the fuck. One time I received a phone call at 5 a.m., which is strange in itself. No number was displayed. The other thing was that a message was left, so they checked the message, and it sounded like 10 or 20 faint voices having a conversation with each other, combined with static. What the hell? That's one message I'd like to forget. That's the original poster story. Yeah, and then people replied with these stories. So, here's another one. My mom had died in December of 2014, and in the spring of 2015, I got a text message from her. I was with my friend in the car, and it popped up, Mom, on my phone, and it was one of the most inspirational messages in the form of a meme. I'm glad she was there to witness that. We had disconnected her phone a few weeks after she passed. That's creepy. I tried to call the number, and it was not in service. It was very, very strange. I had the text in my phone for years until I got a new phone, and it was lost. I feel like that one is so wholesome. But, it's creepy. But it's so wholesome because, motivate your child after death. But I don't know. Some of them are wholesome, some of them are creepy. Read a few more. Here's another one from the same subreddit. They're all from this one. This will age me a bit. A good family friend often had seizures and unfortunately had one while driving. They crashed into a swamp and passed away. We were on the way to his funeral, running behind, and my father's pager went off. It was from his friend's house number. He was a single man that lived alone. Spooked us a bit, as everyone that could have sent the page was already at the funeral. Never figured out a good explanation. Just figured he was mad we were running late. So that one's kind of funny, but still. How freaky is that? I have two more of these stories from Reddit. And, then I'm going to offer some explanations that I've looked into of why this could be happening. But, of course, there's always a supernatural explanation. Anyway, here are the last few stories. So, I live in a home that is reportedly haunted, and I've had a number of unusual experiences. I have a spare bedroom, lost my place, that I had old Victorian furniture and a number of antiques in. I brought in an old phone from my parents' house. It has no dial, and it was made at a time when you just connect to an operator who would then connect you to the other person. It had a cloth cord and sits on an antique end table. One night, it was late, probably 3 in the morning. It was... In a twilight sleep, I hear one of the other rooms, a telephone ringing. An old ring. It woke me up and stopped. I got up and went into the room and cautiously and attentively picked up the receiver and nothing. But that ring was unmistakable. How freaky. Ugh. I hate old antique stuff like that because in my house now, me and my best friend actually have recounts of this, of hearing an old wall phone, I'll put a picture if you don't know. I know some people probably don't, but ringing, and we don't have a landline. We don't have wall phones in this house. Yeah. So that's my experience with that. So that one scared me a little. And here's our last story. So, trigger warning for this one. My best friend himself in 2014, and I received a call from his number. Mom left it as an active line after death to listen to his voicemails. One day in my creative writing class, I saw his name flash across my phone, and my stomach dropped as I rushed outside to answer it. When I did, all I heard was my name in his voice. Plain as day. I was so spooked, I hung up immediately and cried. It felt like he was calling me as if any normal day to tell me about something that happened, and in retrospect, I find it really comforting now. And that's the last one, and that one hurts a little. That one's sad. They're all sad because all these people have lost a loved one and someone they deeply care about. And I want to say, we're talking about this thing that happens, and it's so spooky and it's so creepy, but also a heartfelt sorry to all these people who have lost somebody. Especially that last story. That one really hurt and really hits home as someone who has lost a family member to that. It is quite saddening. But it is also very creepy to receive these calls and these texts and voicemails from people who are supposed to be long gone, who have no access to their phone, obviously, and very creepy. So, here are some explanations that I look into that could be the cause of what is happening. Now, I'm not here to try to explain away these people's experiences because I am a strong, strong believer in the paranormal and the supernatural. All of it. Aliens, all that weird stuff. I believe it. So, I'm not here to try and explain away these Reddit posts or these TikToks, not at all. Because some of these explanations, I'm just yeah, but how, But the first one is phone number cycling, which is the most popular one. It's when an old number that is no longer being used or gets disconnected is reassigned to a new number after the person is gone or no longer uses that number. Also, caller ID glitches and spoofers, which is scamming. They can scam really anyone's name, but that doesn't fully explain most of these. Then we have delayed voicemails, which networks sometimes will resend old data out. I don't know why they would do that, but I guess it happens. Psychological factors have been put into this, but especially with the TikToks, you can literally see the screenshots, so I don't think that's what's going on here. Or even more sadly, prank calls and just straight up scammers trying to use this likeness to hurt someone or for their own personal gain, whatever that is. So those are some explanations. You take as you want with this. I kind of choose to believe people on their stories about stuff like this. Sorry, my dog's fighting a stink bug. Um, so, yeah. You may have your own opinions. In the comments, let me know which one of these stories was the scariest, if you have a story like this. I don't. I know my best friend has a story, which I'm gonna tell it for her. Okay? So, she, was at her parents' house, or her dad's apartment, or something like that, and she got a call in the middle of the night, from the number 00000000000, you know, like all zeros, which you can't call that number because, you know, that's not a real number, it doesn't work. But she got a call from it, and she tried to call it back, and it wasn't in service. So creepy. Like, I don't know. Wow, my dog's really going ham on that stink book. But yeah, those are all the stories and the videos I have from you today. I want to do more paranormal and supernatural videos. I don't know if I should keep doing them at 11 o'clock at night by myself in my room, because I'm like spooked out right now, looking around this room. But luckily the next video I'm recording is about 21 Pilots, so nothing spooky there. It's like spooky Jim, I guess. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I want to hear your opinions on it, if you think it's one of the explanations, if you choose to believe these people, kind of like I do. Yeah. So, I will see you on Friday, for Friday Faves. This one is about 21 Pilots, my all-time favorite band, and I definitely plan on making more videos, so please stick around. Do all the fun stuff, like, comment, subscribe, share. I don't know. No pressure. Only if you enjoyed this. As always, thanks trees for oxygen. I hope you had a good morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is. And I will see you soon. I love you. Bye. Mwah.